Time for Dodger baseball.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
That Turner in the air to center field. That ball's hit well. Martinez on the run. This is way back, and it is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner.
And for the second consecutive season, the Dodgers are going to the World Series.
As Bellinger hammers the ball, it's Bellinger's turn. A knockout in 19. A seventh consecutive division title for the Dodgers. Mookie's throw right on the money. Oh, Mookie.
And welcome into the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers get the win, their seventh straight, and Austin Barnes, Tony Gonslin lead the way. Gonslin was the gas man tonight. Fastball topping off at 98 miles per hour. Austin Barnes reaches base all three times, goes 2 for 2, 2 runs, a stolen base. I was calling him Austin Betts because the influence of Mookie Betts, how he took him under his wing, and then he's starting to execute in the game. And this looks like it's sustainable for Austin Barnes. And we're going to break this whole game down. Yesterday, you had that offensive explosion. Today, it was more of a pitcher's duel. The Dodgers get the win 2-1 to improve their record to 18-8 on the year. 4.5 games up in the NOS as of right now. They're 7 straight. And we're going to break this whole game down. But you know how we get things kicked off here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Let me know where you represent Dodgers Nation from tonight. Give me cities, zip codes, area codes. I want everyone to throw them into the comments. If you're watching on Twitter, be sure to retweet, hit that, and mash that heart button for Austin Barnes, Tony Gonslin, and your Los Angeles Dodgers, because they're going streaking right now, and they're stringing together wins, and they're doing it offensively. Today they did it with their arms and timely hitting late in the game. So we're going to break all things down, but let's jump right into these comments. We've got lots to get into. Joseph Megazzeni, who owes Barnes an apology? Hey, let me just raise my hand right now. Austin Barnes, no more Austin Barnes slander from me until his next slump. Then I'm going to give it to him real hard. No, but Austin Barnes, give him all the credit in the world. He has been public enemy number one for Dodger fans for many years. And you heard it. I think David Vassay was the first report I saw on Real FRG's Twitter handle that Mookie Betts was working with Austin Barnes. And if you know Mookie Betts, everyone says that he loves to see his teammates around him have success and that nothing makes him happier. And for Austin Barnes in that 9-hole to turn the lineup over to Mookie Betts. But here we go. Let's break down. Let's jump into these comments. We've got tons of stuff going on here. Welcome into the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Michelle Carter, Freddie 40, keep Barnes playing for Mondo. Michelle Carter didn't wait for permission. Anjo, way to go, boys in blue. Ryan Moore, we win slugfest and pitcher's duels. Exactly. That's what I was just saying right now. The Dodgers, they can get it done in different ways. The Dodgers pitching staff, currently, their team ERA second in all of Major League Baseball at 2.71, 6 with batting average against at 2.12, and then 203 strikeouts, which is 7th in all of the big leagues. So the Dodgers' offense can get it done on any given night. You know they've struggled with lefties. That is the one Achilles heel for this Dodgers offense so far this season has been batting against lefties. This year, the Dodgers are batting .210 against lefties, .262 against righties. Last year, the Dodgers last year the Dodgers were batting .250 against lefties. So they need to up that mark as the season moves along. But here we go. Wow, incredible job by Barnes. Yeah, everyone, look, let's just have this be a little confessional. You can come to grips and apologize to Austin Barnes if you choose to. I'll be the first. Like I just put that guy who sings I'm sorry to Austin Barnes. I want to formally apologize because he's playing well, and you got to give credit where credit's due. I have no issue being wrong if it comes to a player having success. Trust me, there's nothing makes me happier, just like Mookie Betts, than to see Austin Barnes succeed because he's been putting in the work, and you see it. He's very selective at the plate. That's what you notice with Austin Barnes. He knows where his strengths are, and he understands pitches he can drive, and he's identifying those pitches, and you see him executing, and it's a great thing to see. But here we go. Roland representing Dodgers Nation in the 619. Let's go, Dodgers. Doug Crosby. We got Doug Crosby in the mix. What's up, Doug? How's it going? Missed the game, Tina G-Man. It was a little bit of a weird start, a 4:10 start, but I'll get you caught up right here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Like I said, mash that heart button. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to share that so all your friends can join in here on the action. Gonslin pitch really good from Ben Sanchez. Go Azul from Beto Razo. We got Gonslin is a beast from Christian Tom. Even though he is older for a prospect, I think he still has a lot of potential. Very excited. That's a great point. He is a little bit older as a prospect, but that can also mean a couple different things. Just look at Clayton Kershaw innings pitched. Look, I wouldn't be too concerned with the age of Tony Gonsolin because he's got a lot of life left in that arm. You saw today, Tony Gonsolin was hitting 98 on that four-seamer. Use it from some nice swing and miss. Tony Gonsolin is 26, but I think Tony Gonsolin, along with Dustin May, are going to make it very difficult for Dave Roberts and the powers that be within the Dodgers organization to decide who fills out this rotation as the team moves forward. But I think it's a great point right there. But hey, just got to look at it. Look at Strasburg versus Kershaw and their innings pitch. It's how many innings you get out of those arms versus the age, I think. But Gonzo is unreal. Exactly. I told you the Catman is for real. And Tony Gonsolin looks like he's a real asset. After today's game, Tony Gonsolin, 14 2/3 of scoreless ball. And after today, I think after he was going into today, Tony Gonsolin had the lowest batting average against on the team in that smaller sample size of 8 2/3 inning. Now, after today, hitters are batting 125 against him. Now, I was worried that they took him out a little too soon. Tonight, Tony Gonsolin threw 84 pitches, 60 strikes, 15 for 20 on first pitch strikes for Tony Gonsolin. He was painting the strike zone with strikes to start the count, and 9 big swings and misses, and they came at critical moments. And I think one of the big things was his fastball topping out at 98 miles per hour. It was Tony Gonsolin in that inning. And, hey, I think that this postgame show could have blown up in a bad way, which to me is always fun because win, lose, or draw, we're still always going to be Dodger fans, right? But had the Dodgers had blown it with McGee, who did not look very sharp when he came in relief, he comes in, he walks Kyle Lewis, and then Kyle Seager doubles on a line drive over Mookie's head. It was a tough play. I think a play that Mookie a couple times in his career might make at some point. Mookie Betts, the 4-time Gold Glover. You're not going to get a better right fielder. And then he punches out Nola on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball in the outside corner. So that's another thing by Austin Barnes. Give him the credit for scoring both the Dodgers' runs tonight, but also give him a lot of credit for his job behind the plate. Did a nice job right there. Some great framing on that play. Some fantastic framing for Austin Barnes right there. But let's jump back into the comments, guys. Let me know right now, who is your player of the game? You going with Tony Gonsolin? Are you going with Austin Barnes? Let me know. Or you can even go with Corey Seager. Why not? I love that. By the way, Corey Seager, yesterday, you imagine hitting a home run in the same game as your brother. First time it had happened since 2001. That was good times, man. Hey, but here we go. Dodgers say they'll do whatever it takes to get this season done and win the World Series, but they can't wear their masks like they're supposed to. They constantly spit. They still give high fives. It has to cut down. That's from Dodgers Can 2020. Martin, hey, I'm totally with you. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I don't care if you're playing in hazmat suits with the Dodger uniform on it. Let's find a way to complete this season. I remember life without baseball for the spring and early summer, and it was not fun times for me, and I know it wasn't fun times for you. We got Deborah Young in here. Barnes at 304. How quickly things can change in a short season when those at-bats pile up. And you're pointing out right there, Austin Barnes is a 3. So now that sounds like an average of some other player I can think of. Who bat 295 last year? That's right, Mookie Betts. I'm telling you, Austin Betts, Mookie Betts, He's like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. You call the wolf when you need someone to fix something, and the wolf can fix anything. And I think that Mookie Betts pulled that on Austin Barnes. I think that Harvey Keitel's character, the Wolf, is who Mookie Betts was by fixing Austin Barnes. But don't give too much credit to Mookie Betts. He deserves a lot of credit, and who knows how it actually breaks down. But to me, the lion's share of the credit goes to Austin Barnes for getting it done and putting in that work. Because I'm telling you, man, it's impossible to avoid social media for these players. You know, they're checking their Twitters, they're on social media, they hear guys chirping. And Austin Barnes, you saw some of the looks he makes. His intensity level is sky high. You don't want to be in a fight with Austin Barnes. He's got that fire in him. But here we go. Back into the comments. Dodgers finishing 45-15 over under. That's from Julio Solano. My preseason prediction, I had the Dodgers with 42 wins on the year. So I think that, look, if they go on a run like they did in 2017 or last year when they set the franchise record for wins with 106, something along those lines of a winning percentage, I think it's definitely possible. But I think right now the Dodgers still with, I think 42-18 is still a mark that I'm confident. But 45, Patrick Gagne. How's it going, Patrick? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. By the way, if you have not, I want everyone to go out there, cop yourself a Dodgers Nation shirt. I'm telling you, the freshest gear in the game. All my shirts tonight are in the dirty on the clothes right now, or in the hamper right now. But cop some gear. Go to the DodgersNation.com/shop. Also, head to DodgersNation.com for all of your Dodgers content, all of your articles, all your analysis. You're going to find over there. And then be sure to check in for the flagship show here at Dodgers Nation, the Blue Heaven podcast, hosted by the senior editors, Brooks Smith and Clint Pasillas, Real FRG. Jerry Martin, we need Belly to get back on track. That's from Jerry Martin. Yeah, that's something that after he hit those home runs, it made me think. First time Doc sat him in Arizona, he hits a home run in his first at-bat, then he hits one the next day in San Diego, and then he started to struggle again. So, yes, he had some success, and he had some success in Anaheim, and I was saying let's take it with a grain of salt and let's see if he can do it on a consistent basis because he is still struggling out there. Today was the strikeouts, too, with Bellinger. He had a couple Ks today. On the night, he goes 0 for 3. His average about sitting at 175. And how about mash some hard buttons for Chris Taylor? By the way, Chris Taylor is on his way to being a Gold Glove winner out there in left. He gets his second outfield assist. There's two things I know that I've learned in 2020. You don't run on Chico, and you don't run on CT3. He gets his second outfield assist of the year on a fantastic throw, which was really big. So, but here we go. We got Angela with the hearts replying to John. No more Stripling, please. That's from Angela Landy. I think that, look, it's the gift and the curse with this Dodgers rotation. And I think that Dustin May has made a statement, and I think that there's no question that Tony Gonsolin has made a statement. And Ross Stripling, he's had his issues. Ross Stripling has struggled of late, and you saw he got rocked yesterday. A season-high 7 runs for Ross Stripling in yesterday's outing, and he's a guy that showed so much promise in early on this shortened season with the addition of that changeup. Pitched well against the Giants, pitched well in Arizona, but I think that Ross Stripling, I still think that he still deserves a couple more opportunities at that starter spot because Ross Stripling at his best this year was looking better than he had ever pitched. So I think that you don't give up on him quite yet. This year for Ross Stripling, his ERA ballooned up to 5.61 and a 6.28 FIP for Ross Stripling. I think one of the main concerns for Ross Stripling too is that batting average against. That batting average against now sitting at let's see here. Yeah, he's been nails with runners in scoring position his entire career. This year, hitting 500 with runners in scoring position. In August, batters are hitting 345 against Ross Stripling. In July, they were hitting just 178 in just a couple of starts there. So he's a guy that started the season very strong. 9 strikeouts to 2 walks, and it's going to be something the Dodgers are going to have to visit. Started July at 2.92 ERA. Ross Stripling's ERA in August in 13 1/3 innings pitched is 8.10 for the month. So I think the Dodgers are going to pay close attention to his next couple starts, and if he's getting rocked, if he's giving up home runs, 6 big home runs given up by Ross Stripling in the month, 12 earned runs, so 20, giving up 20 hits in 64 at-bats. So Ross Stripling is a guy that can turn it around. This guy is a cerebral pitcher. He knows what he has to work on, and I think that you're going to see him do a better job. I think that having the luxury of developing that changeup with Ross Stripling, he's a guy that is going to execute his pitches better in his next outing, and I still am confident that he deserves another opportunity. But like I said, the leash is short when you have this kind of depth. When you have guys like Tony Gonslin, Dustin May, we still don't know what Alex Wood looks like. He only made 1 start in the year. So let's say he comes back and he looks fresh. I think he deserves an opportunity as well. All bets on a Dodgers Barnes burner from Jonah. We got Deborah Young. We wouldn't have gotten that second run if Barnes hadn't stolen second. Exactly, yeah. Let's take a look at that inning. That was really the critical inning. Tonight, the Dodgers, 6 hits, 2 runs on 6 hits. Justin Turner had that error. They get a run in the 6th and a run in the 8th. But the run in, let's break it down. So the run in the 6th, yeah, the Dodgers were struggling. I mean, give Gonzalez some credit. Gonzalez basically had to ditch his breaking ball, and his last start was getting rocked. The Dodgers had an issue with the fact that he was a lefty and the fact that he was nailing that curveball. He was executing that curveball tonight, and the Dodgers really struggled early on. So in the 7th, Austin Barnes, he reached on that soft ground ball to Gonzalez. Mookie line to right. Seager grounds to first with 2 outs. Then Turner, like he always does. Justin Turner, Ginger Jesus, comes through when you need him the most. And he hits a base hit to left. He comes through with 2 outs, and then he smacks a curve. And that's the thing. That was the curveball, and he smacked it in the left. And the speed of Austin Barnes, I was really impressed with the way he rounded the bases there. And Justin Turner, he extends his hitting streak to 12, a 12-game hitting streak, his 17th RBI on the year. And Justin Turner is a guy that early on the season, he was going through it for a minute there. But if you look at Justin Turner in the month of August, during this hitting streak, during this win streak for the Dodgers, he's starting to be much more consistent at the plate. And you know he's a guy that the Dodgers lead Major League Baseball in runs scored after the 7th inning. That is what this team does. They wear pitchers down. And I think that, he's much better at bats. 1 second here. Osma comes. Yeah, throw those into those comments, guys. If you have not, give me your player of the game. You got Tony Gonsolin. Do you have Tony Gonsolin, or do you have Austin Barnes, or do you have Corey Seager? Let me know right down below in the comments. Oh, there we go. We got Scott and Blake were great out of the bullpen today for the win. Yeah, Scott Alexander comes in, and he comes in with lots of traffic on the base. Scott Alexander comes in relief of Jake McGee. So going back to the 7th inning, Jake McGee comes in, he walks Lewis, and then Kyle Seager doubles on a line drive over Mookie Betts' head. Then he punches out Nola on that 96-mile-per-hour heater on the outside quarter. And then the 7th, that's when Scott Alexander comes in. So Lopes grounds to third. Lewis ties the game on a fielder's choice. That gives the Dodgers that for the second out of the inning. Then a gorgeous backhanded play by Justin Turner. So a great backhand, but the throw pulled Muncy off the bag. A great stop, but a bad throw, an error on Turner there. And then Corey Seager, that's a play too. Could have really been a game changer because Kyle Seager was not really running the bases, wasn't sprinting around third. He potentially could have scored if that was Austin Barnes or Mookie Betts or a player. If they had some heads up base running there, he could have potentially scored, and the damage could have been worse. But Scott Alexander comes in there, and it's first and third, 2 outs. McGee's walk really hurt him, so that leadoff walk really proved costly. They get the run, and then Scott Alexander, he strikes out long on a slider. And he came out, he kept the damage to a minimum, so give him credit. And then in the 8th, he gets Gordon to ground out, and then he walks Crawford. So Scott Alexander and the bullpen, McGee and Alexander, both with walks that could have been costly. But then Blake Trinan came in the 8th. He struck out more swinging. Crawford steals second. And Seattle, they lead the league in stolen bases, so they were going to try to utilize that strength, and they do it there in the 8th. Then he gets Lewis to fly to right for the 3rd out, a scoreless 8th for Blake Trinan. He came in, and he was strong today. And then back to the comments, though. Let's jump back in here. We got Doug Crosby. How's it going, my man? Barnes, Seager, Gonzo are 1A, 1B, and C. Yeah, exactly. You spread the credit today. Spread the credit to 3 guys today, and those are the big 3. I think Gonslin, considering the fact that he came out and he was dealing, especially early on. Early on, let's break down Gonslin's outing. Let's jump into here. I think the thing that really jumped out was the previous outing, he throws 83. His pitch count was really around 83. That's what they wanted to hold him to, and he comes out in the first inning, 13 pitches. He gets Crawford to line out, Dylan Moore lines out, Kyle Lewis flies out, and it was 3 up, 3 down the first. Then the second, only 11 pitches. A soft fly ball from Kyle Seager gets Nola with some soft contact on an 0-2. Then he fell behind in the count. I think it was a really great sequence. He files behind in the count to Vogelbach, and that one of those pitches was wild there. He bounced that 3rd offering, and that makes it 2-1 in the count. Then he hits Vogelbach with a fastball on the lower corner for strike 2. Then he whiffs him on the very next pitch with a filthy splitter for the 3rd out. So with Tony Gonsolin there, that was a sequence that gets him out of that inning, only 11 pitches, and then in the 3rd, 21 pitches. He gets White on a 2-1, gets a soft grounder back to the pitcher to get White, and on a 3-2 count, he gets Long to ground into the shift. So a lot of soft contact with him. That splitter with that depth, that late break right there, leads to a lot of soft contact and a lot of easy outs early on for Tony Gonsolin. And now you add the missed bat potential that he brings. When he's throwing at 98, he was really digging in there, and he was ratcheting up that velocity. So with that velo plus that splitter, and then you saw him working in some other pitches. You saw a slider today that he was effective with. I think that Tony Gonsolin really is the story coming from this game, even though Austin Barnes did his thing once again, and then Corey Seager, who has been clutch all season long and has been a rock for this Dodgers offense. But in that 3rd inning, he got Gordon on an 0-2 count on a curveball, and it was the whole night up until then, the whole day, the late afternoon up until then, he'd been going with a steady diet of 4-seamers and splitters, and he had retired the first 8 batters he faced, and then Gordon stole second. He bounced another one with Crawford. So occasionally with Tony Gonsolin, he's going to bounce 1 or 2 because he's got that repertoire of pitches. And, yeah, he'll figure that thing out. I think Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser were mentioning the fact that he was carrying himself a little differently. He had a little more swagger. He was carrying himself like a starter out there. So I think that they were right on with that observation. I think Tony Gonsolin is saying, hey, I'm not a guy who comes out of the bullpen. I can give you 6 strong, and you give me an opportunity for 7 or 8. I think he can go deeper into a game once his pitch count limit goes closer to triple digits. But Tony Gonsolin in that 3rd. So Gordon stole second. He bounced another one. And it was basically much ado about nothing because he got Crawford to ground to first. So that 3rd inning got into a little bit of stress, had some traffic there, had a couple missed pitches that led to some base runners there. But, what do you guys see as Tony Gonsolin's potential? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you see him as a frontline starter? Do you see him as a solid number 3, 4, 5 guy? Do you see him as a dominant extended relief guy coming out of the pen? I mentioned a few weeks ago that I think he has a lot of the traits of being a dominant closer at some point in his career. But let me know down below in the comments, how do you guys feel about his potential? What was the score? It was 2-1 Dodgers. Tina G-Man, free Joe Kelly. Yeah, guys, let's put another free Joe Kelly in there. Hashtag free Joe Kelly, especially when you saw today with that suspension. It was just absurd. Barnes, 7-game hitting streak from Julio. Barnes from Bad Luck Bro. Barnes from Abner. Gonzo from Laura. Michelle Carter, good game, but MLB is talking about Tatis more than anyone. Look, I mean, Tatis is making headlines, and for the most part for great reasons. The guy is dominating. You see those OPS numbers, those home run numbers, and I have no issue with what he did last night. I have no issue with Fernando Tatis going deep on ignoring the the call right there. He takes them deep, and baseball needs more Fernando Tatises. Baseball needs guys like Fernando Tatis, electric players that are must-see TV, players where you want to tune into every at-bat because you don't know what he's going to do next, and he's also a player that plays with an edge, and he plays the game with an unbridled joy that I think fans are going to love for years to come. I just hope that I think he's a free agent in 2025. I've heard rumors that he's going to get an extension before them. Of course, I mean, you got to do that. But, yeah, I think that the Dodgers are going to make headlines deep into the year. But I think that if they're marketing Fernando Tatis Jr., hey, they still talk a lot about Mookie Betts. And I have no problem with them. Highlighting Fernando Tatis Jr. He's an electric player. If he was on the Dodgers, we would want him front and center in everything involved in Major League Baseball. But here we go. We got Wendy. What a nail-biting game. Great game. Go Dodgers from the 90503. Yeah, after yesterday's slugfest, man, yesterday was exhausting. And that was a complete different story in today's game. So, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you prefer a pitcher's duel, or do you enjoy a offensive slugfest? Because yesterday was insane. 24 hits, 7 home runs in last night's game. Yes, it was fun, but I like the tension of a pitcher's duel, and you saw that tonight. I think Gonzalez was dealing, Gonslin was dealing. But here we go. Back into these comments, guys. Tatis replying to Tina G-Man. We got Tina, yes, Barnes is showing off his work with Mookie. Exactly, bad luck, bro. We got Mr. Razor. If our pitching can stay consistent, we will win the World Series. I think that you're right on the money with that. A big yes from me on that statement. If the pitching remains consistent, they're going to be the Dodgers are already, to me, in the prohibitive favorite to win the World Series, but if their pitching stays consistent and we continue to score runs at the rate we're doing, I think the Dodgers, when they win the World Series this year, they're going to do it because of what they can do offensively. I think that is going to be the big difference. I don't think we're going to have that stress that we've had in years past winning close games. I think this offense is going to be able to produce on a nightly basis once they start to hit lefties better. They have the potential to be a better offense than last year's team, especially when you see what Chris Taylor's doing, what A.J. Pollock has been able to do. Corey Seager is a different player when he's healthy. A healthy Corey Seager is a top 3 shortstop, an MVP candidate. So I think this offense is going to carry the load of this team, and I think that I wouldn't worry too much about bullpen pieces. I think that, 94% of games are won. The team wins 94% of the time when they enter the ninth with the lead. So I don't carry too much weight in the closers role. There's always discussions about Kenley this, Kenley that, who should be the closer. Yes, I think you want to have a dominant closer, but I think you want to score a lot of runs, and I think you want to have starters go deep into games. And I think the Dodgers have the potential of doing that, especially if Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin can keep building upon this. And Clayton Kershaw, he did have that clunker against the Giants, but 2 of the 3 starts this year, Clayton Kershaw 94, 95. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, if he continues that velo, we could be talking about Clayton Kershaw with the DeGroms of the world like it was back when he was at his finest, at the peak of his career, circa 2013 to 2017 range. So I think this pitching staff definitely is going to be a big part of the success of this team. There's no question about it. But jumping back into these comments, we got Teresa with the emojis, Michelle Carter, Tatis. We got, if we don't talk about the broken rule, I'm broken. You want to talk about the unwritten rule of baseball? Do you guys believe in unwritten rules in baseball? Me personally, I think that unwritten rules in baseball are absolute laughingstock. To me, if I'm a player, I want to do everything I can, every opportunity I have. And Fernando Tatis Jr. goes up there, I'm supposed to take a walk here? I'm supposed to ground out? I'm supposed to fly out? That's like if Kobe Bryant had 70 points and you take him out of the game. They actually did when he had 62 against the Mavericks. But Kobe Bryant, look, when he scored 81, they were up by 17 or 18 at that point, okay? When Adrian Peterson had 296 yards, they didn't say, let's take a knee. No, look, we want to see what the athlete is capable of, and also we want to have some fun out there. If I pay to see a game or I watch a game, I want to see players go deep and make big plays all game long. So to me, I think baseball is modernizing as we speak before our eyes. And hey, say what you want about Fernando Tatis Jr., but if last night's antics leads to the unwritten rules of baseball getting canceled, shout out to Fernando Tatis. I want bat flips. Look, baseball to me is the greatest game in the world. And to me, I think that if it's true that the younger demographic is more into football and basketball, they're missing out on the greatest game in the world. To me, when you look at the fact that I don't want to dig into why I think baseball is great, but you guys, if you're watching this, you already know that baseball can get better. Baseball can reach a larger demographic, and I think you do that by throwing out these unwritten rules. Look, have some fun, have some tension. I love the fact that Woodward, check that, was mad last night. I love to see that, okay, because it means guys are competing and guys hate losing. There's nothing worse than losing, and I think that that's what you should focus their attention on. Here we go, but let me make sure I got my all right, here we go. Texas Rangers are clowns. What up, Doug from Ryan? Here we go. Texas Rangers are clown. Thank God, Doug. We need more of him. Thought you ignored me from Michelle Carter. Oh, no, absolutely not. What's up, Michelle? Yeah, no, trust me, man. Hey, what is the show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser, okay? And you don't want guys to be content with losing, with giving up home runs. And, hey, that's the nature of this game. This game is about competition. It's about wins and losses. And there is no gimmies, right? Okay, so just cut that out, man. I'm so over that, okay? Randall Etheridge, has the Dodgers lost against the American League yet? Well, let's take a look at that. They swept, I don't know, you call it a gentleman's sweep, a little Texas two-step sweep over the Astros, and the Angels' first sweep in Anaheim since interleague play was since the inception of interleague play in 1997. So they beat the Mariners last night. They beat the Mariners today. If I'm not mistaken, that's because we haven't played the A's yet. We haven't played, so there you have it. The Dodgers own the American League West as well as the National League West. So, yeah, here we go. Back into the comments. Barnes, speed tonight. Corey, Mookie, and Tony was making everything work. Tony should be in the starting rotation. That is from Linda Mays Elliott. According to Yankees fans, we can't match their bats. Clowns, Doug Crosby. Hey, I think the Yankees, they have a potent lineup. The Pinstripes, they're the Bronx Bombers for a reason. Aaron Judge, he's been banged up. Giancarlo Stanton, he can turn into a strikeout machine at times. But, yes, they do, top to bottom, have a very potent offense that the Dodgers are going to have to deal with. And you factor in guys like Glaber and DJ LeMahieu. You saw what that lineup did when they came to Dodger Stadium wearing those hideous players-only jerseys, which I'm still upset about. And I think that the Dodgers are going to have to score runs, and that's why you add Mookie Betts, right? You add a guy who all he does is generate runs. So replying, you threw me off, Julio. I saw the middle finger emoji, and it just made me laugh. My man, middle finger to the Yanks, LOL. Hey, Dodgers, Yankees, 11 times the Dodgers have faced the Yankees in the Fall Classic. Last time they've done it is 1981. So, yeah, I think the Dodgers are 3-11. So they won in 3-11 against the Yankees. So, but they won the last one. They won the last one in their house. So that's what you love to see. And they also swept the Yankees in the 1963 World Series. So the Dodgers have made their World Series wins count. 1981 was incredible. I'm old school from Joseph Magazzini. J Mags in the Heezy. A Dodgers Nation Day One, a Dodgers Nation post-game show, A1. Unwritten rules for life for Joseph Magazzini. Okay, hey, look, to each his own. I think that I want to see a modified version of unwritten rules because there's some unwritten rules that I'm okay with. Like, I don't know, if you cheat to win a World Series, the unwritten rule is you get to plunk guys, right? And I think that if the baseball manages itself like that, I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but I'm okay with that. So Doug Crosby, the only mistake Tatis made was apologizing. That's a great point, Doug Crosby. You don't got to apologize, and I just hope that the way the explanation with Hosmer and just how the Padres handle that situation with Tingler and Hosmer answering for him and that sort of thing. I think that, hey, I just hope he takes that into consideration. He holds off on a long-term extension and that he eventually leaves the Padres. I want to see him in a bigger market. What's a bigger market where you wouldn't have to move very far? How about the Los Angeles Dodgers? Hey, you never know, right? No, I think Corey Seager, I think it's looking more like Corey Seager long term. But back into the comments, guys. Three wins. 3 wins. Did I say 3 for 7? Yeah, 3 for 8 against the New York Yankees. Xavier, Dodgers will win the World Series at home. # calling it. Hey, you'd love to see it. The Dodgers get that World Series win at home. It would be spectacular because I think that the last World Series win at home was in 1963 against the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that is, right? So it would be fitting. I think that, it's still early to tell. But we're out plenty of time. I can't believe we're almost at the halfway point of the season. I don't know about you guys, but every time they mention that, it really starts to get at me. But move Seager to second from Tina G-Men. Yeah, you can see him moving to second, moving to third. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Will fans be allowed in stadiums for postseason? I think that's going to be a no. Even the most optimistic fans would probably tell you that's a no. That Major League Baseball has been exploring a potential bubble. So considering the fact they're doing that, I would say definitely not. And if you're going to do that, I mean, I feel bad for the cardboard cutouts, right? They paid good money out there. I feel bad for those cardboard cutouts, man. I was hoping they would go buy them with one of those misters or put some sunscreen because they must have been melting today. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Ryan, no, I think 1981, the Dodgers, that was at Yankee Stadium. That was that Game 6 at Yankee Stadium. Let's see. Yeah, you guys want to throw in your World Series Oh yeah, here Deborah Young. Last night's game proves that you should continue to play hard. You never know what's going to happen. Exactly. That's the mentality that this team has. This Dodger team has that mentality, and I think that you saw that once again today. That's what this team does. That's when they score a lion's share of their runs. They do it late in games. They fall behind. The Dodgers now today, after today, they're 40. They've outscored their opponents the 7th inning on 47-12. So 47-12 past the 7th inning. And during this streak, the Dodgers are hitting .465 with runners in scoring position. And yeah, the Dodgers come back tomorrow. They go head up to Seattle. You're gonna have Julio Urias toe the rubber for your boys in blue. He's another guy that's looking to continue to improve and build in this young season. He's a guy that wants to shore up his spot in this rotation. So the Dodgers against Seattle tomorrow. Dodgers-Rays. We got, Dodgers-Rays. That's your World Series prediction. I like that one. That'd be pretty cool. I think that this is a year that the Rays could definitely make a run at. There's no question about it. But a couple more of your takes, guys. Oh, no, we're rolling here, guys. Only 38. But let's jump back into this game. So, yeah, back into the 5th, fly ball to left field, and another great. Oh yeah, so let's look into more of Tony Gonslin's start. So in the 4th inning, more singles to left. He's gunned down by CT3, and he was trying to stretch it into a double for his second out, and he hits him with his second outfield assist of the year. He had momentum coming in towards the ball, so it was a great throw from Chris Taylor. Then down 2-1 to Lewis. He threw a couple of sliders, hit 97 on the 4-seamer in that sequence. Then on a full count to Lewis on the payoff pitch, he lines a base hit to left field on a splitter, and then he gets Kyle Seager to fly to left for the second out of the inning. Then Lewis steals second, and then Nola lines to right to the 4-time Gold Gloving recipient, Mookie Betts. He gets out of that inning, so 18 pitches for Goose in the 4th. Then in the 5th, fly ball to the left field corner in foul territory against the wall. Chris Taylor makes another great catch. His sparkling defense has continued all season long. Should Chris Taylor win the Gold Glove, I think he should definitely receive strong consideration. And then he gets White swinging on a slider for his second strikeout of the night, for the second out of the inning. And then he gets Long on 3 pitches with some 98 miles per hour gas. That was the most impressive sequence of the night. He gets Long, and he mowed him down on that pitch. So the only question tonight was, should he gone longer? Should he have stayed out there and pitched the 7th inning? Because in the 6th inning, D. Gordon grounds out, 1 out. J.P. Crawford lines to left, 2nd out. Dylan Moore flies out, 3rd out. And that was it for Tony Gonslin. But 14-2 scoreless frames this year for Tony Gonslin. Fastball was nice tonight, 898 miles per hour, 60 pitches thrown for strikes tonight out of his 84. So 60 of 84 pitches thrown for strikes, 9 big swings and misses. And hitters are now hitting just 125. 125 against Tony Gonslin on the year. That is very impressive by Goose, the Catman, Tony Gonslin. Do you guys see him? You guys have tell me, have you guys answered where do you see him in this rotation ultimately? I think that he's definitely right up there. I think Julio Urias has a lot to prove tomorrow. Julio Urias 2-0 with a 2.53 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. But we want to see him have one of those signature starts for him. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Kenta Maeda is currently on no-hit watch. Old friend Kenta Maeda doing it for the Twins. So yeah, I think they should definitely I think you keep Tony Gonslin in the rotation. How do you take a guy out of the rotation that hasn't given up a run? 14 2/3 scoreless innings. And Ross Stripling, a 5.6 ERA, the 6.27 FIP. And the thing about Ross Stripling, too, 8 home runs. He's given up 8 bombs this year. That's a team high. And you know that home runs can be the death knell for the Dodgers, especially in some of these deep postseason runs. And if these games get critical down the stretch. I think that currently, look, it's the Dodgers and the rest in the NL West. I've been saying it for years, and it looks like it's going to be another runaway. And, another thing, too, the Dodgers, they have to improve against lefties. After this game, you saw it rear its ugly head in this one, struggled to hit Gonzalez's curveball, and they struggled all night against him. So the Dodgers, they need to right the ship from that side of the plate tonight. The Dodgers, let me check real quick how many strikeouts they ended up with tonight. Tonight, the Dodgers, they end up with 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts, 9 for Gonzalez. He gives up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run in 7 innings pitched. And then Altavilla gets 2 strikeouts. So the Dodgers, they face 7 lefties this season, 24th in the majors against lefties, and they're 6th in the majors for how hard they're hitting lefties. You heard Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser talking about it earlier, that some of these peripherals, they're not really adding up, where they're not having success against lefties, but they're hitting them hard, and then at some point, that's going to balance out, and you're going to see a more consistent showing against left-handed pitchers. Last year, they hit 250 against lefties. This year, it's 210 with a 658 OPS compared to 262 against righties. So let's see here, guys. Jump back into these comments. Yeah, Frank Zappa in the rotation is a no-brainer from Ryan O'Ryan Montez. I'm a huge fan of Kike, but do you think we re-sign and do you want him to? That is from Brian. To me, I think that Kike Hernandez, if you listen to some of his preseason press conferences, it was pretty evident that this was going to be the last ride for Kike Hernandez as a Dodger. Now, let's say the market is really dry for Kike Hernandez. This year, he's currently hitting .239 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. Went crazy in his first game, registered 4 hits, had that home run. I think he had 5 RBIs in his first game. But Kike Hernandez on the year is pretty much just doing Kike Hernandez things. This year, Kike Hernandez, I personally think that the Dodgers will probably move on from Kike Hernandez unless he wants to give them some incredible hometown discount, and he's not offered much from other teams. You work your whole life for free agency, and Kike Hernandez this year, he's hitting .255 against righties, .235 against lefties, and 16 strikeouts to 3 walks for Kike, and he's starting to struggle his last last 15 days, hitting 200 with 9 strikeouts, 3 walks. His last 7 days, he's hitting 214. Did come through last night, though, so Kike Hernandez is one of those players where you think you're done with him. You think, hey, that's it for Kike Hernandez. Don't let him play. Only let him play 2 games a week. Then all of a sudden, he gets a big home run. You saw what he did in Game 3 of the NLDS last year. He came through with some serious slugging to get the Dodgers over the top at that one. So he's a player that plays big in big games, but I think ultimately they probably will move on from Kike Hernandez because I think that other teams will value what he does. So it's not a slight to Kike Hernandez at all. I just think other teams will pay him more than Dodger fans realize. And I think he'll end up securing a nice bag for his services. And but yeah, we'll see what happens. You never know. Kike Hernandez makes a certain play in a certain game. You can't leave the Dodgers, right? So how do you guys feel? Will Kike Hernandez end up with the Dodgers after this season? Let me know down below in the comments. Hype Slayer, when Chris Taylor caught that ball in the NLCS versus Brewers, amazing moment. Hype Slayer, that was an incredible moment. Now, that's the thing about this outfield. They're not just great players, they're great athletes. Show me an outfield in Major League Baseball that has better athletes than Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, who can throw it down, who can dunk on you at 5'9", both 300, do just about anything he wants, not just in baseball but in life. And then Chris Taylor, who has got great speed, great agility, and he's very athletic. So there we go. Doug, Kike Hernandez, doing Kike Hernandez things. Haha, Joseph Megazzani. Hey, man. I want Brusdar Graterol from Hype Slayer. Yeah, Brusdar Graterol. Only thing I want about Brusdar Graterol is will he stay healthy? Will he stay healthy? That motion just seems like it's not very fluid. It's like it's such a hard, an arm heavy motion right there that I hope he can stay healthy because Brusdar Graterol, that guy has just some serious arm talent, doesn't he? It's just absolutely incredible what he can do with that with his arm. But the only thing I worry about, his strikeouts per 9 is 6.5. You would think a guy that can miss bats like that throws 98, 99, 100, 101 miles per hour would strike more guys out and get some more punch outs. But what he also does is he knows how to induce soft contact. So I think he's a major asset. I think he's still a long-term project. I think he's still in the project stage with the Dodgers. But I think eventually, I've heard a lot of people clamoring for him to take over Kenley's spot in due time. I think that he's a guy that they can mold for that position. They can mold to be a closer. But as of right now, it's just fun to see him out there. I was telling you, Brusdar Graterol should change his number to 76 because he's got straight gas, homie. But how do you guys feel? Who will be the next closer for the Los Angeles Dodgers? Let me know down below in the comments. A couple more takes in here. Give me your hottest Dodger takes. There's going to be a podcast version of this coming pretty soon. We're going to take your takes, and we're going to put the best takes from the show into a compressed version of the post-game show, and then we're going to add other things too, like different analysis and some interview clips. So that'll be coming shortly here. But let me know down below in the comments. Give me your hottest Dodger take right now. But here we go. Brusdar Graterol, need more innings. At least give him 8th inning, maybe 9th if huge lead. He deserves saves. Hashtag Mr. 100 MPH. I like that, Xavier. Mr. Hashtag 100 MPH. He's Mr. Triple Digits, right? Jermaine Armanta, good thing Barnes is hanging around with Mookie to work on his swing. Exactly. I'm calling him Austin Betts from now on because I'm telling you, Mookie Betts, listen to Mookie Betts. There's about a million awesome things about Mookie Betts. We could dedicate a lifetime talking about all the great things about having Mookie Betts as a Dodger. But I think one of my favorite things is how humble of a superstar he is. I think I'm someone who, there's a very thin line between star and superstar. There's a handful of superstars. You got a good amount of stars in leagues. We're talking about all-stars. But a superstar, that's a guy with a certain je ne sais quoi, a different type of quality to him. And Mookie Betts, one of his favorite things is he likes to see his teammates play well. It really gets Mookie Betts going. And I also love the fact that he still rocks the Chico shirt during batting practice. But I think the fact that he takes Austin Barnes, who's a player that is dragged through the coals of Dodgers Nation on so many nights, especially when he struggles, for him to take him under his wings and show him a couple things, and you're seeing the result. And we're not talking about just for a game or two. I think that after tonight, he's on a 6-game hitting streak, and he is batting over 300. Now, we talked about earlier what makes baseball so awesome. Baseball is the most unpredictable sport there ever was, okay? You just never know with Major League Baseball. And Austin Barnes, let's check this out. Austin Barnes is now second on the team in batting, hitting, I think this is updated. I think he's hitting 304. He's third on the team behind Mookie Betts, his BFF, his best friend / hitting coach / mentor at second with 305. And then Corey Seager leads the team in batting at 316. After that, you got Justin Turner, who's hitting 289 on the year. And Justin Turner, very clutch. So the Dodgers got it done tonight. Runners in the scoring position during this streak. They're hitting 465. Pay close attention to that number as the season continues to develop. I hate to say this, guys. I hate to say it. It pains me to say this. Sunday, we're already at the halfway mark, okay? And before you know it, we'll be talking postseason, and we'll be talking October baseball. So enjoy this ride. Savor each of these games. Tomorrow, you got Julio Urias taking the hill for your boys in blue. But be sure to head over to DodgersNation.com for all the greatest Dodgers content in the game. Gear up, get some merch. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DMAC_LA, DMAC_LA on Twitter and Instagram. Hit me up whenever. Always down to talk baseball. But let me know down below in the comments a couple more of your Fire Dodger takes before we head out in this one. I know a lot of you guys have some basketball to watch. The Lakers start their run for 17 tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. So, okay, how about that in the comments? Who will win a title first, the Lakers or the Dodgers? Let's end on that. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I love this Lakers team. But there's so much competition in the West. If you want, I'll predict the Lakers to win it this year, but I'm more confident. So I think the Lakers are going to win, but I'm more confident that the Dodgers will win the World Series before the Lakers do, because I feel really strong with this Dodgers team, the addition of Mookie Betts and how guys like Corey Seager, Pollock now, he's hitting 284 on the year. And, here we go. In August. So let's check out some of these. Oh, here we go. Dodgers win from Deborah. Lakers baby from Hype. Brazilian Dodgers fan here. Go Dodgers go from Luis. Mookie Betts, hashtag hitting coach 2 from Isaac. Tina G-Man, is the NL going to adopt the DH permanently? Win on that one. I actually do think that they will. I think that they will adopt the designated hitter. The designated hitter, look, I haven't watched a game this year and reminisce about the days of the designated hitter. Look, I mean, with offense struggling like it is, imagine if you had a pitcher basically being automatic out there. You hate to see it, but you got to evolve this game. And if having a designated hitter leads to more runs, more excitement, and more fans in the game growing, then I'm all for it. So, also, players getting injured. Look, Mookie Betts was able to get some rest, Justin Turner. So you also factor in having some of the players that you love stay around longer because they can rest. So, and you also, another thing to consider too when it comes to that is signing players and acquisitions. Because if the Dodgers have the DH, American League, Dodgers don't have the DH, the American League has the DH, some players might not want to join the Dodgers. Here's a good example. If the Dodgers had a DH, I think Shohei Ohtani would have been a Los Angeles Dodger because he wanted to pitch, he wanted to hit as a DH. So I think that you're going to see it permanently. Giant Slug, Hype Slayer. Do you think the Dodgers can win it all from Boy in Blue, Guerrero? Absolutely. They definitely are. They definitely have a great shot, especially when you consider the fact they're 18-18, first place in the NL West. After the Yankees lose, they'll have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. But thanks again for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Thanks again, as always, for all your thoughts, comments, and questions. Be on the lookout for the podcast because you're going to hear your questions on the podcast pretty soon. But thanks again, guys. Thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McCain. Like I said, you can follow me at DMAC_LA. Head to DodgersNation.com for all the greatest Dodgers content in the game. Go to DodgersNation.com/shop to gear up, get merched up. Thanks again. See you guys Thursday. We'll be back Thursday with another show. But thanks again. Have a good one, guys, and I'm out.
It's time
The Dodgers are going